Morning, Tommaso.
Good morning, Claire. Welcome. This is our day 2 podcast questions. These are related and affiliated with our YouTube channel where we uploaded meditations. Yeah, to help you on your journey of being aware of our patterns and how it runs our lives. This particular day we deal with the day 2 meditation, which was titled Awareness of Our Patterns. I'm here with Claire Bourgine, who runs alongside with me the Spirit in Action YouTube channel. She's basically the writer of all the talks that we hear on the YouTube channel, Spirit in Action. And I'd just like to further elaborate more on this day 2, the being aware of our patterns. You speak of cycle of patterns in the second day of meditations and becoming aware of them and of this constant inner dialogue that dogs us. And often what you say, what we're really feeling isn't about now.
Like most things, I believe energy sort of comes around in cycles. And if you become really aware, you'll see that there is a pattern in the way you think and feel. And that as soon as somebody triggers you, the more aware you become, you'll see that really you're not feeling any different than you did the last time you were triggered. So that energy is there and it gives you the opportunity to become so aware of it that you can actually start to do something about it. So no, it's not about now, because if you look at what you feel, I believe our inner dialogue is deep within us and really it does run our life. It has a huge impact on us. For example, for my own inner dialogue is one of feeling alone, which is a bit odd considering I come from a family of 8.
Wow.
But I always felt alone, and whenever I was in any strife, underneath would always be that feeling. Once I understood that and could sense it, I could learn to allow that feeling to be there, but not run off with it, and soon it would pass.
Was it inherited? Or?
I think partly it's inherited, partly it's just the circumstances you're brought into.
What do you mean circumstances you're brought into? Is like,
well, depending on where you're brought into and the kind of early upbringing you have will affect the way your inner dialogue runs your life. For example, if you're brought into a family that doesn't value you at an early age, you'll pick that up. You may not have words for it, but you'll feel it. I definitely think different people play the same game throughout your life for you. So if you've had a hurt, say in a relationship when you were 18, and 30 years later you have a problem with a relationship, ultimately, deep down, you'll be feeling the same feelings, just different people. Yeah, so if you start to understand that, and really know that feeling isn't about now, then it gives you the ability to be able to be more detached from it and to not get so caught up with it.
well, once you see that, let's say you go through all these relationships and you see a pattern there happening, what can one do when they see, okay, I'm in another relationship, the same things are happening again?
Well, I think the first thing is to be aware of it, because the more aware you are of the pattern, the more you don't have to fall into the same bed that you were in before. I'm trying to think of an example of a friend that I know that always went for men who treated her really poorly. And relationship after relationship, you could see that same theme coming up in different ways.
And she wasn't aware of it until...
Well, she eventually saw it, but she didn't realise how much it had affected her life. So as she became more and more aware of it, she was able to change the dynamics early on in a relationship and set her boundaries so that she didn't fall into the same trap again.
So basically, once you see this pattern and awareness, you can actually change.
We always have the ability to transform things, but awareness is the key to your freedom with that. And to try not to act out. Because basically, I've said this many times, but if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. So you have to learn to stop what you're doing, and don't think that means the feeling's going to stop from before. It won't.
That's right.
And remember, a feeling usually lasts for about half an hour. So you're not going to be able to stop that feeling. You have to allow it to run through your body. The trick is for you not to get so attached to it that you start acting out on it.
Often what happens with me is I can see the trigger happening, and I see some people can trigger me, but it still happens. Like,
Yes, it will. It doesn't mean it's going to stop. But use it as an opportunity to realise you have the ability to change it. For example, I'm working with a lady at the moment who's been incredibly OCD, really, really badly, that she would check things out that she had a phobia about 30 times a day. And she didn't seem to have the ability to be able to stop doing that at all. It was causing her incredibly distress. So we talked a lot about it, and I always think that for OCD you have to eventually, you can take medication, of course, and that may help, but I don't think it's the answer to it.
does it just sweep it under the carpet?
It just sweeps it under the carpet. So what I've taught her to do was to, every time that feeling overcame her, for her to go and sit or lie down and just allow those feelings to run through her, however hard it was, but don't act out on them. And now she's just told me she's had 2 weeks of not acting out on it, and she's so proud of herself. I think that's amazing. Because it takes great courage and great awareness to be able to do that, to sit through that feeling and not act out. And through that, slowly, it will start to free her of those conditions that hold her back in that way.
You also say that we are constantly spending our days rehearsing and replaying past scenarios, hurts and feelings.
Okay, well, most people spend their whole days rehearsing. And by that I mean going over and over the same old shit in their head over and over again. Well, the way to change that is by awareness, by becoming aware of it and choosing not to go there. That is why I think it's incredibly important to take out and replace, because then you've got something to hold on to. And if it's neutral, it won't set up another condition.
Let's say, for an example, what is a statement that is neutral and what is a statement that isn't neutral?
Okay, let me think a minute.
Would it be something like, I am a rock star?
Yeah, I'm a rock star. It's an illusion, yeah.
It's an illusion. Whereas, I am a beautiful, lovely...
I'm a beautiful, vibrant person.
I am successful.
Yeah, it doesn't stop you being who you are, but it encourages you to be the best that you can be.
Right.
You know, it doesn't set up one... It's like being right wing or left wing. Both are strong views, both, you know, and both out of balance, really. Come in the middle, be in the middle and, you know, accept each other, but allow each other to be there. You don't have to get off on any of it.
That's why I call neutral, because it's in the middle.
Because it actually neutralises the energy, thereby bringing a solution.
So we all have this ability to change these belief systems,
Yeah,
and grow new neural pathways
absolutely.
in the brain.
Yeah, so it's pretty amazing. We're very fortunate, really, you know. So I'm not against medication.
That's what I wanted to go
You're
in.
just going to ask that, aren't you?
Yeah, I was going to, how does Western
Yeah.
medicine play its part with regards to drugs, helping those people whose brains that cannot quite function as well, that are
Well, as I say, I'm not a doctor and I'm not against medication if it's needed, but I do think that you want to use it as a last resort and use it for things that are appropriate. For example, deep depression. You may want to use antidepressants for a period of time until you start to feel a bit more stable, and then there are other things you can do to stabilise yourself and get out of it. And so I think it's dependent on many factors, but always I would be looking at a natural way of doing something if possible.
Well, the body itself.
The body has the ability to heal, absolutely. Well, for myself, having healed cancer, I'm a great believer in having the ability to heal your body. But also, there are things that are remarkable that doctors do.
Yeah.
So I think we've got to... these things should be used in complementary forms with each other. In England, there's a big hospital in London that is also very much linked to complementary medicine, and big naturopathic medicine work side by side. And I think that's more how things should be. But You want people who are really well trained, who know what they're doing. I think doing a quick year's course on naturopathy is not enough.
Oh yeah, you can have shysters on both sides.
Yeah.
Western, Eastern, homeo. You can have You can have shonky people and all. I mean, as a musician, I've met a lot of shonky musicians.
Right. And I think you've got to do your research. I think research is very important to see what alternatives you've got or you can look into.
And always get a second opinion.
Always.
Yeah.
Even alternatively.
Yes.
I know for myself what helped me with the cancer was qigong and meditation and saying the statements. Because I try to put my whole focus on I'm healed and healthy and healed. And all my organs and systems function normally.
It's amazing how the mind battles that too. Like when you tell me, write your words half an hour a day, there's so much resistance. I get so much resistance in the morning saying, we haven't got time for this. Come on, can we get, all this?
Well, I think there's always resistance to a lot of things that are good for us. But that's okay. The thing is to push, allow yourself to push past that anyway. Because really, what's half an hour?
I know,
we'll always have no time.
It's a stint on Facebook, really.
Yeah, that's right. I just want to say something, about the words. It's like, even though I'd put my mind on I'm healed and healthy, I want to make it very clear, I wasn't denying that I had cancer. I wasn't seeing that wasn't 100% true, but I chose not to feed it.
Not to focus on it.
I didn't want to put my focus on it. It's like the virus now. Yes, I'm aware it's around, but I'm not putting my focus on it. No, focus on something that's neutral and healthy and life-giving, something that's positive. It's far more life-giving. And most people say, they don't work. I said, they only don't bloody work because you don't do them, or you don't do them enough. You don't expect anything to change without a bit of work.
Well, that's right. I feel that way with my physique, I think, I want to look good, but then, go see a trainer. Yeah, the work needs to be done.
Yeah, absolutely. And most of us are too bloody lazy. That's the truth of it.
Yeah, that's the truth.
I actually think we're living in an age of seeds of opportunity right now. It's opportunity to think different, to act differently, to become more and more aware of your intents and motives and make changes to want to live in a better world. Not just for yourself, but for everybody.
Yes.
We can reach out in different ways. I don't think the world will ever be the same again. And I think it needs to be different. Look at nature starting to come back in a healthy way. I mean, how long that's going to last for. But we need to make changes. We live on the most beautiful planet. Beautiful planet. There is enough food and water on this earth to feed everybody. I think if you give people the basics and treat them with respect, you'll see more and more people walk out of the gutter and become more of a human being. We need to become more human. We are actually dehumanizing ourselves at the moment in many ways. And I find that quite sad.
I think we've made up to day 56 now.
I think so.
Yeah, so there's quite a few talks, and we'll
slowly get to
them. Yes. So these podcasts are basically married with the talk that we've put on YouTube. So this one was married with day 2, which was awareness of our patterns. Feel free to listen to them on the YouTube channel, and please do leave a comment or any questions you'd like, because we definitely would love to take this opportunity to thank you all for listening, but also if you could comment then with some other questions, we're happy to discuss it further. I think some people will ask questions later on, so we'll tackle that. Feel free to put that on YouTube, or if you want to get in contact directly with Claire, you can click on the link below of the of YouTube, and it'll get onto Claire's Facebook page or her spiritinaction.com page, and you can get in touch with her. You can make an appointment with Claire, either face-to-face or through Skype. She works internationally, very easy to get in touch with, and she's also very generous with her time. Thank you so much, Claire, for your time.
Well, thank you, Tommaso, and as I say, for your beautiful music.
Oh, thank you.